What's up guys? Today I am going to be reviewing a part and I'm going to tell you what else we're going to be doing on this M90 swap. And what we've got going on is I've decided, and I was not originally going to do this, but I decided that since the supercharger is off to do this Gen 5 swap, I'm just going to go ahead and change pulleys too. So I ordered a pulley setup that I'm about to show you from Smoothflow Pulleys, which looks really good by the way. But let me show you what all I've got, and I will link Smoothflow down in the description if you guys want to check that out too. So I got two things. I got, first of all, their modular pulley system with the 3.5-inch pulley. Right there you can see the actual thing on there, and then there's the bolts that hold it on. So, and this is one piece of aluminum, and this is an 8-rib pulley. So I will support an 8-rib belt or a 6-rib belt. So that's the first thing I got. And I also purchased their pulley removal set. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is what the pulley removal set comes with. What you've got is your two plates here. This one is the one that you're going to use to remove. You actually unscrew these two, put this behind the pulley, take your other bar, attach it through there with these bolts like that, and then your main part here is what actually pulls it off. And it comes with a replacement for your center threaded shaft there, and it also comes with a couple washers, this big nut for that. So I'll show you how that works in just a minute, but I just wanted to show you sort of the kit as it comes out of the box. So next, let's just pull that Gen 5 out here and let's just go ahead and swap pulleys. I'll just show you what I'm going to do, and I'll give you my take on how well this tool works and what it looks like. Okay, so I'm setting up the puller right now. What you're going to do is take these, split them, put them on the other side of this pulley and tighten these back down. Then your main puller shaft just screws in here, which you're going to have to remove this little plug for, which is no big deal. Then you're going to do a couple things since you're pulling. First, and this does come with instructions by the way, so if you get this kit, you can do this part yourself with just the instructions. So then it says that you want to put a little anti-seize on this just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and thread this big nut down onto that quite a bit. That's what you're actually going to use to pull this. And you're going to stack the washers behind it like so. Then you take the big plate, it's going to go on behind it like that. We're just going to go ahead and get this a little closer until these will go all the way through and thread into the other block like this. Okay, then you're going to hold the shaft with one wrench, and then with a much bigger wrench, just turn the center nut away, which you'll feel it pretty much right away have some pressure behind it. So it's not going to be easy to turn. Plus I'm having to do this with an adjustable, so just bear with me for a second on that. Okay, so I cut ahead a little bit because I had to do a little trial and error, but as you can see, I did get it off. And the way I wound up doing that was actually a little different. I took an impact and ran this in while I held the nut in place. Probably not the safest nor best way to get that done, but for the sake of what I was doing, it was the only way I could figure out to get it to work. So the next step would be to disassemble this and switch it over to installation mode, which is pretty simple. So from my current experience, just to let everybody know, expect this pulley to be very hard to get off. This one for sure did not want to budge and took a lot of pressure to get it to move. Now here you can see the difference in the two pulleys. in the diameter, definitely a noticeable difference. Plus that's a 6 rib pulley, that's an 8 rib pulley. So the next thing we have to do is drive this one on until the hub is flush with this, which you do with the same tool. And then what you're going to do is take this little attachment right here, which I had taken out for the sake of being able to drive this in with an impact, but you're going to need it again now. And you're just going to screw it into the snout like so. Then you're going to take your pulley that you want to drive on, which you can either try to drive on together, or what would probably be easier would be to take the hub off and just drive that on. But the instructions that come with this actually tell you to drive it on all together. So I'm going to give that a shot and just see how hard that's going to be. You're going to take that, you're going to take this, and then you're going to use your same stuff from earlier, and that's what you're going to drive it on with. So very similar procedure to what you were already using. So we'll try again now that this is a little bit less seized. We're going to try one more time to use this the appropriate way, because you should be able to do this by hand. And it did say to, let's see. One thing it said to watch out for is to make sure that this does not turn independent of the snout, because if it does, it will actually unscrew itself, which is not what we want it to do. So you need to make sure that you are holding it and just turning this, which is exceedingly difficult to do, actually. It's just turning the whole thing, which is not what we want it to do. I'm gonna have to hold this then. Okay, so what I've come up with here, if you try to hold it here, sometimes the whole assembly will turn, including the snout, which will unscrew this from here, which is, we do not want that to happen. So I'm taking this wrench, using it to get caught on one of these bolts, and that's holding everything steady. So I'm just holding that and then tightening the nut down like that, and that's how I'm getting it started. So after a lot of wrenching and a lot of all kinds of stuff, we have the pulley installed, which is a really nice looking piece. I'm really happy with the fit. Getting this flush, a couple notes about that and the ways I would do things differently if I were to do it over again. One, I would not press it on necessarily with the pulley. If you have a way of holding the snout without that, you'd be better off just to use this, because then you could see when you're bottomed out, versus with this, I had to keep taking it back off and checking until I got it up level. So that was kind of a pain, but not too big of a deal. Second of all, I'm gonna cut this down so it's gonna look like this was really easy, but it was not easy. These are extremely hard to get off and extremely hard to get back on. So you will be going back and forth quite a bit with this thing, fighting. It's slow moving getting it off, slow moving getting it on, so just be patient and don't be in too big of a hurry. The next thing I have to do is I have to replace this, which I have another one for. I anticipated that since it was plastic, it probably wouldn't come out nicely, so I went ahead and ordered a new one from ZZP, which is, I don't know if that's gonna focus on it, but they keep them in stock, so no big deal. And then that just presses right back into the middle like that, and that's it. It is swapped. Oh, and just a little side note, here's the solution that I came up with for this evap purge solenoid. This solenoid stuck out too far and interfered with this throttle linkage when it was open. So what I did was I just tapped this hole I did I believe a 1/4 inch MPT to hose barb, and then I used this PCV elbow. Then I'm just going to take the factory hard line, run it over to this, and that should solve that problem. So that's pretty much it. But the important thing is the supercharger is now 100% complete, and that can only mean it is time for one thing: part porn. So what did you guys think? Check out the link down in the description if you guys would like to check out this company. I think their stuff is pretty good quality, and the pricing was very reasonable in my opinion. But that is it. We are ready. The next video on the M90 swap will be the actual swap itself, where we're actually putting everything on the car, and then we'll have to get into tuning and all that. But so hope you're enjoying the series so far. Drop me a like down here on this video if you are. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see the next one, and drop me a comment and let me know what you think so far. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.